Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Eating Peace this week. And really, as some wonderful inquirer said today, she said to me, work with grace. That's the name of my business. Work with grace. Eat with grace. How sweet is that? Grace is the common denominator, and it's what I'm called. I happen to have the incredible good luck and fortune to be named Grace, which is not a name that I appreciated when I was a little girl. It seemed like all the old ladies had that name. And now I can appreciate it because the meaning is so beautiful. But really, the meaning, a gift, that it's a gift. It's a gift to eat and enjoy the pleasure of eating, and a gift to work, enjoy the pleasure of working, whatever that is. And of course, in this case, it means really self-inquiry. They cross paths with this self-inquiry, the work of Byron Katie, but asking ourselves, is what I'm thinking true? How do I react when I believe that thought? Who would I be without the thought? What an incredible question for using your imagination. So when we get triggered with the food and eating thoughts, often there they are happening. We're in the midst of binge eating, and it's because of thoughts that are going on right before that sort of lead us or scream at us or shout at us to want to escape by eating food, to want comfort by eating food, to be afraid of food instead of feeling the peace of food or the peace of our own thinking. I was reading today in Byron Katie's wonderful book, A Mind at Home with Itself. She was saying, the natural state of ourselves is not to be quarreling with what is or quarreling with ourselves, having an argument with our own mind and our own thoughts. So here the thoughts come pouring forward, and some of them are absurd. The mind will think of anything. It's like got something going on, You might have felt completely fine, and then you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and you say, oh my God, you look hideous, you're too fat. It's not mean. It doesn't really have any filter, you notice. But then the believing of it begins to engage us. So we become somebody with an unquestioned mind, and we move away from that a natural place that is more peaceful and very kind, very loving, just open and empty. The one who doesn't believe everything that I think. So when I look back on my experience around food and eating, wow, I believed everything that I was thinking. I'm really excited because I'm about to embark on a whole year of inquiry. It is set up for people with food and eating issues, without food and eating issues. Doesn't matter what your issues are. We get together for an entire year. And some people who begin to engage in the work and their mindset around eating and watching their own body image issues and their eating issues and working with that begin to want to question everything. And that's what this whole year of inquiry is all about. But often, when we have a compulsion like eating, I sure had this, our thoughts about all those other things are what seem to trigger this urge to eat and to find pleasure. So, in the year of inquiry, we're doing the work on our judgments, our family of origin, money, body image, of course, disease, threats to ourselves, to the environment, work and career, feeling afraid, what it means to live, our turnarounds, just all these beautiful topics. And as we become more peaceful with those, oh, how interesting. The eating seems to diminish. And I know that is not always true. It doesn't feel like it's always true for everybody, but it does make sense that as you become more peaceful within about all the difficulties you've ever felt in your life, trauma, betrayal, fear, anger, and hurt, relationships with other people, such a key player. as we become more peaceful with these events and the experiences, maybe all the way back to childhood, often those kind of had a huge influence, then our eating becomes more peaceful in the current moment. There is just not a need to escape or get triggered by that. Now, here's what I wanted to share today. It's very interesting. Sometimes, having said what I just said, with all those incidents and relationships we've ever experienced, which are so many days alive on planet Earth, so many experiences, we'll think we have to sort through all of it and get it all handled and understood so that we can calm down, so that then we can stop eating. We can actually question that thought, like that you have to somehow have a revelation with all the difficult things you've ever experienced before you can relax and not be an addicted person, an addictive acting person. So whatever your compulsion is, okay, you need to sort yourself out and have your whole childhood figured out and every topic understood before you can relax around food and eating. Is that true? How do you react when you believe I need to get all these things squared away in my whole childhood, my life, my world needs to be very comfortable and calm before I can stop eating? How do you react when you believe that thought? Oh my gosh, we read self-help books, and the persistence at trying to fix ourselves and understand ourselves is absolutely immense. It can feel like forever going by, forever. So much work. So who would you be without that thought, that stressful belief that you have to have an understanding, or your mind has to have an understanding of everything you've ever experienced that's been troubling before you can stop eating off balance? Exciting. Curious. I mean, you might notice, maybe I can actually stop this today. Could that be possible? I remember quitting smoking. I know I talk about quitting smoking a lot here because it's got more of a clear ending point. What I know to do is not pick up the cigarette. That's what I know. That's what quitting smoking winds up looking like. I don't smoke the cigarette, no matter what. I might have emotional craving. In my whole psyche, I might feel like the best answer would be to smoke. I might have all kinds of ideas about how wonderful it would be, but if something deep within says, no matter what happens, I am not going to pick up the cigarette with my hand, light it, and smoke it. I'm just not going to do that. No matter what my mind is saying, I'm not going to. And I'm not going to be absolutely terrified, or maybe I even was terrified at the time that I quit smoking, of the craving. There's a place for that even within food and eating compulsion. We continue to eat, but it's the energy that you're eating with. The energy can be peaceful, glorious, that we get to eat food, which is so crazy. You take something from the outside world and you're putting it in your mouth and letting it become one with your body. Just, you're not even doing anything. Your mind is not in charge of that, that's for sure. But the mind has all these thoughts about how that needs to be corrected and improved and how you do it wrong and you need to be thinner. And it's possible for people to just be totally out of control because you've experienced being out of control. And all that busy monkey mind, as they call it in meditative practices often, that will tell you it's just not possible to have a different energy with food and eating. So you could say, just like the absence of smoking, no matter what, I'm not going to eat with that kind of energy, that grabbing, intense, angry, furious energy. I'm going to relax with eating food. I'm going to enjoy myself with the pleasure of eating food. So who would I be without my thought that I need to figure it all out before I stop eating? Just noticing there might be something interesting that's possible to happen here, that nobody has a gun to my head forcing me to eat. Of course not. But even my own emotional life and my own psyche and my own mind aren't forcing me. It feels like it. It feels like I cannot stand it unless I eat with that energy, that intense energy, the overeating energy. But what if you just paused and waited? So let's turn the thought around. I don't have to get everything figured out in my mind, understood in my own mind, in order to relax with eating, in order to be relaxed and to slow down and to notice the beauty of eating, to notice how much I love eating. I do not have to get that sorted out. I actually have to get that not sorted out. Now that's an interesting turnaround. Don't know if I've said it quite that way before. I have to not get that whole thing figured out in order to stop eating. Now that's very interesting. So I have to have the mystery, just some unknown here, and I can just stop. Could that be just as true? Could that be possible? Can I find examples? So I need to get my thinking sorted out before I can stop eating. So I don't even have to get my life and everything understood or everything resolve happen in every single area. I don't have to have all my emotions be on like a flat line or even keeled at all times in order to stop overeating or compulsively eating. I can experience all those like it's a bumpy ride to be in a boat that is going through difficult waters or down a waterfall. It can feel like that. But I don't have to eat around that. And so just to be in the practice of the work, how wonderful to open up to the energy of that question. Is what I'm thinking true? Who would I be without my story right now? Who would I be without my story? The story of food, the story of I need to be thin, the story of my emotions force me to eat, they force me to eat, force me to smoke. Who would I be without that story? What a wonderful awareness to have, just an openness to those questions. An openness to the questions. And what I notice is that most people love those questions. They might feel frustrating or difficult or like we don't exactly know the perfect answer to those, but having the questions, our mind is curious. It's like really feeling that our true nature is interested in wondering and trusting and feeling connected with life and feeling kind with ourselves, loving with ourselves. It feels foreign or like something's wrong when we feel really mean and angry and critical and judgmental. Nothing wrong with drawing very strong boundaries or being quite powerful or having energy that seems like sparky or fiery or spicy. So it's not like that. Those aren't welcome. It's just noticing clarity, the feeling of the experience of really feeling some sense of absolute rest and relaxation at the core middle of ourselves, and that you can have that. So just look at the energy with which you're eating things. You can peacefully eat candy, things that are supposed to not be on the you can eat list. You can peacefully eat anything. And you can be eating with a vengeance a bag of raw carrots or celery, just grinding away at it and chomping it up and chewing it and eating almost too much of it. So just noticing the energy and the appreciation and noticing what you like, taking care of yourself, being filled with a sense of care for who you are and what you're eating and how you're enjoying food. All right. So consider joining a year of inquiry if you want to get into this practice. It's for anyone. It's for everyone who's interested in taking their stressful thinking to the work. And I don't often share this. I don't usually share it with people that are really eager to look at just eating compulsions. But I find that people with an addictive process of any kind or compulsive behavior, as we begin to question all of our stressful thinking about life and reality and just get in the practice of it, those compulsive behaviors fall away because they are in the reaction. How do you react when you believe your stressful thinking? The way I reacted is I ate. What if I didn't believe the thoughts? What if I didn't believe them? Wow, what freedom is there? Let me know how it goes.